No, that's our jam. Okay.
That is our jam.
Jam.
We talk about it. Hello, Annette. Good evening. And how are you tonight?
Doing good tonight.
Doing
Blessed,
good
highly
tonight.
favored.
Oh, blessed and highly favored. And hello to our movers. How y'all doing? We are so blessed to have you guys with us tonight. You have tuned in to Can We Talk, brought to you by your favorite co-host, myself and Annette L. Anderson. And we're here to have an incredible conversation. We thank you all so much for tuning in. You could have gone anywhere else with your time, but you chose to stop right by here and have a conversation with your girls. So we're excited about what we're about to jump into. But listen, we want you to know that you have tuned in. We are that movement. We are that movement. Yes, we are that movement. We're a motivational organization here to educate minds, empower, nurture, and transform. A movement to move, helping others thrust into their purpose to live the best version of themselves and win. We tapped into some winning information with some winners resources seated at the winners table, and we invite you and you to sit right along with us, right, Annette?
Yes. Now y'all already know the deal. You know we got plenty of room. Now you see that our logo up there with those two chairs. That's just because me and Anita was the only one at that particular party. But trust me, we got other chairs for you. Okay, so sit back, enjoy, and we got something to say tonight.
There is
Thank you
room
for
at the
sharing.
party. There's room at the party for you, and you. So thank y'all so much. And listen, let me tell you something. It's so often that we when we come on here, we're so we're so geared up, we're so excited, and so often when we get into this conversation, we have people that come on and they start like commenting and talking. We want y'all to know, please. We want y'all to comment. We want to hear from you. We want you to kind of let us know how you're feeling, what you're thinking about the conversation that we're having. The conversation is for all of us, and we don't want to just have the conversation alone. It's not just about me and Annette, but it's about y'all. We want to hear what y'all have to say. We want to get your comments. We want to get your input. So please, ma'am, please, sir, join in the conversation. Before we get started with the conversation, we want to say hello to some of our movers. Hello. Oh, I'm motivated beyond. I'm motivated beyond too. Hello to our movers and shakers in the building. Hello, Connie. Thank you so much for tuning in. You always show up. Oh my God. Wait a minute,
Okay.
y'all. We have to pause. We don't pause for the
I
person,
love it.
but for the office that they hold. Ladies and gentlemen, the prophetess Sharon Elaine Green is in the building. Thank you so much, Sharon, for showing up. And listen, it was one day that it was only you and us. Thank you so much, Grace Junior completion. Go ahead, Annette.
Completion.
You know, she had a little completion. She did a little decrescendo. Grace Junior completion in the house. Hi, Nikki. There go your child. One of your children done showing up. Hey, Mama and Anita. Yes. Thank you all so much. Listen, please, that video that you're watching, we want you to do something for us. It's a few things for us, but one is the video that you're watching is either on Facebook or YouTube, because we gave up that other platform owned by that crazy dude with those electric cars. So we don't go there anymore. But we are on Facebook and YouTube. So please, the video that you're watching, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you're following the page and that you've joined the group. But make sure you also like it, hit a thumbs up, give us a heart, something, and also click that curve button and share it. So subscribe, like, and share. Also, we're a nonprofit organization. And it's time for us to start putting some money into this organization, because we got some things to do in 2025. So you can sow a seed. It's Cash App, $Movement Worldwide. You can also sow a seed via Zelle. Our Zelle is info@movementworldwide.org. But we also encourage you to become a monthly covenant partner with us. You can partner with us every month with a seed that is automatic, and that is by becoming a patron. You want to know how to become a patron? I think they want to know how to become a patron. And do they want to know how to become a patron?
Yeah, they want to know, Nita. Just break it down to
become a patron. So you'll go to our website, movementworldwide.org, click that red button. It'll take you to patreon.com. Set up your account, set your amount. We ask for $12 a month. That's the base amount that we ask for. But patrons who have signed up with us from the time that we started have always done it for more than we asked for, and we appreciate it. But guess what? No matter the dollar amount, every amount is greatly appreciated, and we pray that it returns to you 100-fold. The other thing is, everywhere you see that globe above Annette's head and the acronym movement, follow us on all platforms. And you can also email us your thoughts, views, comments, praise reports, prayer requests, topic ideas, and everything to info@movementworldwide.org. We had somebody else. Oh, Bella. Oh, look at Bella. Bella done joined us this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, Bella. That's my sister all the way up in Georgia. She's tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. So listen, it's time for us to go into our conversation. But, before we go into our conversation, we have to follow a few little station identification things. But the other thing that we do is we have our Can We Talk toast. So if you have your mug, we want you to raise it right now. If you don't have it, raise you some tea or some coffee or whatever you got. We're going to toast you right here. Bam! Just put it to the screen. Bam! And we're toasting you with our Can We Talk mug. Thank you all so much. Can we talk, Annette?
Yes, we can.
Can we talk, movers? Yes, I do believe we can. So now it's time for the first phase of our conversation. We like to deal with the topics and those idioms, those phrases, those comments, those things that just make you go, Just make you just like go, yeah. So tonight's topic it's actually a part of a quote. It's been redone so many different ways, but tonight's transformational topic is: you can't do everything, but you can do anything, one thing at a time.
Come on now.
You can't do everything. Everything's not going to get done. Oh, you can get yours. All you have to do is email us. Email us, you can get a mug. Yes. We had somebody email the other day about getting one, but we do have some, and you can get them. They're $15, and that includes shipping. So you can't do everything, but you can do anything, one thing at a time. So with this topic, I pulled something that Calvin Coolidge said. He said, we cannot do everything at once, but we can do something at once. This quote implies that a person cannot do everything at the same time, but he or she may surely do something at once instead of sitting idle. So just because you can't do all of the things that you want to do, choose. But there are a few things that stop us from actually doing that. Procrastination is one. It's a contributor to becoming overwhelmed with our own matters. We just become so overwhelmed because we've procrastinated. We keep putting things off, and we know we're supposed to do something. We know we have a deadline, but we keep putting it off. We put it off and putting it off. And before you know it, we are overwhelmed with a whole lot of other things that we should have done in the beginning. And I'm here to tell you, I am guilty of it. If you're guilty of it, you need to be screaming and hollering too, because I know I'm guilty of it. Yes, me, Anita, me. I had to learn how to deal with the spirit of procrastination because it was indeed messing me up in so many ways. I was not able to get things done. I was missing appointments. And when you miss appointments, when you're self-employed, you're the only one that's in charge of your money. It's not like you're going to have a guaranteed check coming to you at the end of the day. You have to do what you have to do. So procrastination is a key factor. Another thing is other times we start becoming overwhelmed because we're putting everyone else's needs above ours.
Yeah.
Another we do that. We put other people's needs above ours, and we also sometimes bite off more than we can chew. We take on tasks that we really don't have the capacity to handle. And because there are so many hours in a day, but the one word that needs to be learned as we plan out our time is to prioritize. Because if we have to figure out what takes priority in the now. If we fail to do that, then we will fall into serious downward spirals. Matthew 6:34 says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And when we become overwhelmed, what we have to do is shift our focus to what is in front of us and what needs to happen now. Because guess what? You can't do anything about what didn't happen back then. And tomorrow's not here yet. And it will take care of itself. How? If you take care of what you need to take care of today.
Yeah.
If you take care of what you need to take care of now, tomorrow will take care of itself. But if you've put stuff off that you know was due back then and it's still pressuring you, then you've compiled because you did not prioritize. So that is our transformational topic tonight. You can do everything, but you can do it. You can't do everything, but you can do anything one thing at a time. Prioritize, plan, time. What doesn't get done, doesn't get done. But don't just continue to put off. And may these words transform your life and thrust you into the greatness you were destined for. And that is our transformational topic. Annette, your thoughts?
Yeah, very good topic, because what will happen if you're not careful, you'll try to do a whole lot of everything and get nothing done. So here
Mm-hmm.
you are trying to, because I'm so guilty, or I would just sit and for some reason time just slip by. So yeah, you got to get to a point. What's important? Let me do it. I'm working on something now, and then I said, "Oh, I got to do something." Then I got to go. Let's
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute now. You need to pull yourself together.
Or
Get that
somebody
done.
calls, and then
Yeah.
your work that needs to get done gets on the back burner because you have
Yes.
somebody else's needs and desires before what needs to
Mm-hmm.
be done.
Mm-hmm. Guilty.
I
Ooh.
I used to be very guilty of that, and I had to learn, Anita, you are not Mother Teresa. And and sometimes we feel like, well, it had to be, or they needed it, or I couldn't help it. Well, what would they have done if you weren't there? And guess what? Mess around and die. They're gonna find somebody else to do it. They're gonna figure
All
it out.
right.
So you'll put your
That's the
stuff
truth.
off. I've seen people do it. Their health. They put your health off. You put it off and put it off and put it off because you're so worried about everybody else. And then, but when you die, guess what? Their lives will move on. I've seen that happen in my own family.
Me too.
Seen it
They'll
happen.
figure it out.
They'll figure it out, and they do. But you have to have the gift of no, and say, you know what, I can't today, or either yes, but would you mind doing such and such and such? No, I wouldn't mind, but you know what, I can't right now. Can you do such and such and such? No, I can't. I have such and such to do, and you don't owe anybody a whole lot of explanation. It's your time and it's your life, so can't do
That is
everything,
true.
but you can do anything one thing at a time. All righty. So that was our transformational topic, y'all. Y'all like
Very
it?
good. Very good.
Wonderful. I love it. I love, love being able to transform my way of thinking by looking at something extremely practical. So right now we're going to pause for a quote from the quotologist herself, our very own Annette L. Anderson. We're going to pause for our Annettism. And after our Annettism, we got some other juicy information to pour into your spirit. But we'll pause right now. We'll be back in a minute. But while we're gone, continue to share and let people know the conversation is just getting started. We'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. The wind swept through the trees gently, leaves danced in spirals, spinning freely. Birds sang their morning songs sweetly. The river carved its path silently. Clouds drift across the sky slowly. Mountains stood their ground firmly. He held her hand tenderly. Promises were made earnestly. Their hearts entwined eternally. Fate sealed their bond unknowingly. Dreams drifted through minds quietly. Memories faded away slowly. Hope lingered in the hearts silently. Love endured through all endlessly. This is Annettism's expression. It's some nice music, Anita. Yeah. All right, it's time for the power tool. There are some matters and experiences that causes people to become hurt, fractured, or broken spiritually and emotionally. Sometimes it just takes a conversation to mend a broken heart. Just need to talk about it. Or the spirit. In some cases, a band-aid won't do it. You need a power tool.
Power tool.
All right, tonight the power tool is the Kim anointing. Keep it moving. We all need the Kim anointing. Every small step you take moves you closer to your dreams. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Even when the task feels overwhelming, remember consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates success. Stay focused, stay hungry. You got to want this thing and trust the process. Your hard work today is the foundation of your triumph tomorrow. You may be stuck in guilt, heartbreak, or fear, but God did not create you to live in yesterday's failure. Some of us stuck back in yesterday's failure. He gives you strength for today and hope for tomorrow. The enemy wants you to park in your pain, wallet in your dysfunction, and drive down the street of mediocrity. But no, just keep it moving. Your future self will thank you. I look back at my from when I was younger to now. Oh, I thank God some things I did not get. You have to rise up with determination, shake off what was meant to stop you. Trust what's ahead is greater than what's behind. You can't change the past, but you can step into your future. I don't know about you tonight, but if you can, just take a step, because every step you take is into your future. Walk by faith and keep it moving. God's already gone ahead of you. The journey is tough, but so are you. Keep it moving. The Kim anointing. And that is the power tool for tonight, Anita. Okay. What's your thoughts?
Hey, man, let me tell you, sometimes we lose sight of the fact that when we allow stuff to interfere with our journey, and we become complacent and stagnant. So don't allow yourself to become stagnant, because even though you may be facing some hardships or some situations, guess what? Everybody has had storms. Everybody has had issues. Everybody has had circumstances, but it doesn't stop us on our journey. It might rock you from one side to the next a little bit, but you have to adapt to that Kim anointing and keep it moving, because tomorrow's not promised. And if I stop today, and there were some things I was supposed to get done today, and then tomorrow comes and then I miss God, then I'm gonna be mad. That's what we talked about earlier. Like you can't do everything, but you can do anything one thing at a time. And when we learn, all of this ties together. Now, y'all, we don't talk about our topics. We just we put them on, and they just somehow just tie together. So when we allow ourselves to prioritize, and when we get to those places, those bumps in the road, it won't deter us so much that we stop. Yeah. You don't stop, you just keep moving.
Yeah.
Even if you take one little tiny step. Even if you don't feel, you're not feeling it that day you might need to take a moment and say, you know what, I'm just going to chill for like a minute. I'm going to take 2 or 3 hours and watch some silly TV so that I can encourage myself, or I'm going to take a moment and take a walk, or just, listen to an ebook or something. You do something that's going to take your mind for a few minutes, but you don't allow yourself to just fall into a hopeless spiral. Yeah. So, woe is me. It's never going to happen. I ain't never going to get out of this ball. So yeah. It's a little hard to hear sometimes, because a lot of times we don't like to deal with ourselves. Hey, look at move in. Come on.
Moving. We keep it moving.
Yes.
Yes. And that's what we have to do. We have to do just like those men. And sometimes you might need somebody to kind of help you. Like, I can't do this by myself. We're not designed to live alone. You might need somebody else to pull a string so that you can keep things moving. Mm-hmm. Utilize your resources. Lean on each other. We need each other. You need people. No man is an island. You're not meant to do things alone. And when somebody offers help or can help, take the help. Don't try to be this one man or one woman show, as though nobody can do anything as great as you. I'm sure there is something that somebody else can do. Now, they might not be able to do some of the hard stuff. My friend was taking a test, and she read me one of her questions. I read it to you, Annette. You was looking like this. That's how I was feeling.
Like, girl.
I can't do that. But I can do some other stuff now. But there are some things that I can do, and that's where you have to kind of lean on each other. So thank you for that power tool. We needed that, and we needed to know, like our little fellas say, just keep it moving. We keep it moving. Good job. All righty, good people. We are moving right along with our conversation here, and it's come time for us to go to the next phase. But before we do, we're going to pause for a quick commercial break. We have to do a little bit of station identification, and when we come back, we going into them topics, y'all. We got some stuff, but I love the nature of the conversation that we have. That's so uplifting, so empowering. So while we pause for this little quick break, grab your little tea, get your little something in your cup, get your little something in your cup, and also continue to share and let people know what's going on. It's about to get real juicy. So we'll be back in about a minute.
When we eat well, we live well, and all will be well. Go to elbwell.com, join the journey, and take your life back. T&T, that's Tuesday Night Talk with the Andersons. Each and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. live on multiple platforms. For more information and other services, visit AnnetteLAnderson.com. If you don't have your copy yet, get yours today at Amazon.com. That's Living Life One Quote at a Time by Annette L. Anderson. Another milestone reached. Get your copy of The Wow Effect by Anita Faye Wilson, available on all platforms, or you can visit AnitaFayeWilson.com. And you can always catch us live on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Can We Talk? Join us with your Can We Talk coffee mug. Get yours today. They're $15 and that includes shipping. Sow good seed into good soil. You can sow a seed into Movement Worldwide via Cash App at $Movement Worldwide, Zelle at info@movementworldwide.org, or by becoming a patron. You can visit our website at movementworldwide.org, click the red button, go to patreon.com, and set up your account today. And remember to follow us on all platforms. Like, subscribe, click that notification button, and don't forget to share. It's that time. Tea Time Topics.
Oh, it's time for Tea Time Topics. Tea Time. Say what? Tea Time Topics. Go net now.
I be serious too about this thing. Y'all don't understand.
Come on now.
I'm gonna practice.
I see you, girl.
Hey, I'm gonna practice.
And let me get her thing on. She's like, I don't know what y'all doing. I'm serious. I'm serious about my thing. And she rolling around in a circle when she get it going.
I don't be on the beat, by the way, either, Anita. You know
what you say?
I don't usually be on beat either.
Oh, but that's all right. That's all right. But you do what you do. Hey, it is what it is. You might not be on beat today, but you'll be on beat tomorrow. Or you'll be on beat next week. These are our Tea Time Topics. We like to have the tea. We go from the news, we keep it light, but we keep it real with our Tea Time Topics. We don't go all in and all deep, but we just give you a little something because we got to know what's going on in the world. And trust me, I don't like the news either. It's so depressing sometimes, especially in this season. But guess what? I got to know what's going on. It's a lot going on, but we don't go all the way into the politics and stuff. We kind of laying off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to have to now. We have to stay aware. We have to stay aware. But our first Tea Time topic tonight, y'all. Oh, Jesus. This is crazy. I gave him back. A Florida woman who witnesses say tried to kidnap a 3-year-old boy last month, apparently believed because she didn't get away with it, she shouldn't be detained. But 39-year-old Pamela Monslave didn't, as she told police, she said, I gave the boy back. Child. She was stopped by a Good Samaritan who acted fast to save the child after seeing Monslave allegedly reach over a fence, grab the boy, and start to walk away in Hallandale Beach community near Fort Lauderdale on November 25th. She didn't get far. Neighbors stopped Monslave and questioned what she was doing. She placed the child on the ground unharmed and then just continued walking. Police were called and found Monslave nearby. Make sure you pay attention to your kids, your surroundings. Make sure you know your neighbors and your neighbors know you, Hallandale Beach Police Captain Megan Jones told NBC6. This is an example of know thy neighbor, and those neighbors are able to help prevent this child from being permanently taken. Monsley offered a rambling, nonsensical explanation, according to recorded by police on body cams. He was outside. He was naked. He was like with his shirt and everything was naked. She said, whatever. And I asked for people around to call the police, and nobody would call the police. And the little boy, I said, where's your mom? He said, no. So where's the little boy now? Oh, Jesus, asked that officer. The officer said, so where's the little boy now? But Monsley could not seem to remember where she found the 3-year-old in the first place. Where's the playground? Asked the officer. Near the outside, And when the mom came out, I gave it back, she said. Police weren't buying it. Monslave is being held without bond and charged with confining a child under 13 without the consent of the parent, NBC6 reported. On Tuesday, prosecutors added a kidnapping charge. I got the little boy and everything was like, don't get the little boy. And I'm like, I gave it back to the mom, she continued. I gave it back. Child, you should have taken him. I can't imagine what act can cause more extreme fear, distress, said one prosecutor. But Monslave could not seem to remember where she found the 3-year-old in the first place. It's like, did you get him from the playground or what? You reached over a fence and got this child. That is the bottom line. You reached over somebody's fence and you took
that baby.
Period.
Thank God people saw her. And it bothered me because she kept saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets you know no connection. What was she getting ready to do with him, with that baby?
Oh
my God. Oh,
there's no telling. And you know, granted, I don't know how this child was exposed like that in the first place. You know, all of that is in question for me, for the parents, as to why was a child that young accessible to somebody walking down a street that they could over a fence and grab your child.
And grab her. And grab a baby.
How in the world does that happen? It's like, how in the world does somebody get to your child when that young, a child who can't say, they can't really tell you what happened. They're half speaking jibby. And they can't tell you what their address is. Can't tell you what their mama name. What's your mama name? Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
But that child is exposed to the point that that somebody can get to that child over your fence. Something is wrong with that picture. And yes, you should be detained. You should be held for reaching over somebody's fence and taking their child. You know, she doesn't even know what. It's like she was so out of it. It's like she didn't make sense. There's no telling what was going on in her head. Ooh, the devil is a liar. But anyway, I'm glad the child is safe.
Me too.
That part. I'm glad that the child is safe.
That was scary.
It is scary. I'm glad the child is safe, and I'm glad she is locked up. But keep your hands off other people's children. Period. That part right there. To you not remembering. It's like her mind was in a straight up. I mean, it's like she's sitting there. You know, it's like I could imagine the police officer's like, "Oh man, where'd you?"
I'm telling you, right? I'm like, what is happening?
Like what? When you read, but I read it just like it is on the paper. You because I and then I looked and I didn't see nobody but I gave it back. Whatever. You knew
she gave it back. Lord have mercy.
But you knew he didn't belong to you. Period. Yeah. Oh, all right, let's still go on to the next. Let's come on, take us to the next tea time topic.
Moving. We keep it moving.
All right, this was a very interesting story. It starts out, where's the roach? The parents of a 12-year-old Black girl who attempted suicide last year, suing her teachers and school district in Greenville County, South Carolina, for negligence and how they responded to alleged bullying and harassment of their daughter. Ty Turner says she found her daughter, Kalia, hanging from a bed in her bedroom on the evening March 18, 2023, man. She told WYFF that her daughter was already cold to the touch and bleeding from her nose, and that the paramedics couldn't find a pulse or heartbeat for a full 8 minutes. She had been fully committed to She had been fully committed to what it was that she was attempting to do, said Turner. Kalia suffered severe brain damage and was in a coma for weeks, stayed in the hospital for 101 days. Now 14, she's nonverbal and still has no control over her body, says Turner. She's dependent on a trach to breathe and a feeding tube and requires around-the-clock care from her parents and a part-time nurse. According to the lawsuit filed in the United States, a district court in South Carolina, Greenville Division, Kalia Turner first experienced bullying at Dr. Feinz's J. Fisher Middle School, August 2021, and reported it to the school. In December 2021, fellow students called her a man, a roach. In teacher Olivia Bennett's class, the complaint said. She was also called trans, mustache face, nappy head, and ugmo, in the presence of teacher and the school staff members with no repercussions, despite a school zero tolerance for bullying. According to Facebook post by Turner, Miss Bennett was complicit in the bullying and said nothing to the other students to stop it. One student asked, "Where's the roach?" And Miss Bennett pointed to Kalia. Wow. Turner emailed Bennett and the principal to complain, noted in her email children had committed suicide from that type of behavior in the past. The next day, the principal acknowledged her complaint and said that they were working tirelessly, they always say the same thing, to repair whatever is damaged. In November, parents filed a lawsuit seeking damage from the district and facility members to cover medical bills, psychiatric expenses, special education. Parents lost wages while taking care of her, life care expenses, disability care, injury to her psyche, and loss of employment of life, loss of wages while caring for her, per the lawsuit. Those who wish to donate, they got a GoFundMe page. And they are the site has raised $92,215 so far. And another thing that I did not put in, the kids had even went to the hospital to take pictures of her in her state. Yeah. So now, because of bullying, and that's why bullying is so serious. It's really serious, y'all. This beautiful little girl, because they kept bullying. And I'm like, they were putting stuff on Facebook, all kind of things. And she just couldn't take it no more.
I'll be hunting a bully down. You hear me?
Yeah.
I understand it. I worked on an anti-bullying campaign back in early 2000s. Well, not early 2000s, like around 2011, 2012. And we went, I went on tours with some singers and stuff. And there was a guy he was a sheriff in Mississippi. And it's a case that went national, where it was one of the first cases where the bullies were actually prosecuted. They bullied his daughter and she hanged herself, and he found her in the closet. She didn't live. She was dead when he found her, and he was with his youngest son. He was going around from room to room to say goodnight, and his son followed him because he had a question. He said he walked into her room, he didn't see her, and he said he just remembers his body going slow motion, looking to the left, and he saw her hanging in the closet, and he went and cut her down, and he did CPR. He tried everything, he couldn't save her. But those bullies were prosecuted. They were prosecuted, and they served time for what they did to that girl, because they were posting it all on Facebook and everything. I will be hunting a bully down. I cannot stand a bully.
I can't either.
Charges against the teacher and those students should be filed. I agree.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The teacher should be charged too, because you're supposed to be there to protect and nurture and encourage these children. And I see it so often where these kids are bullied in school. And we've had, the friend of mine who runs the anti-bullying organization here in South Florida, she was the only one. And she said, they always call me after the fact. They don't call me when there are things happening. It's like they know stuff is happening. The teachers know. The administrators, a lot of times the administrators and the school staff, they know, they see it, but they don't do anything about it. She said they would call us in when they notice that there's a kid who's a bully and see a kid who's being bullied. They could bring our organization in then, but they always wait until a kid commits suicide. And we've had it I've seen her work with kids nationally, because she was also a victim of bullying in one of the worst ways imaginable. So, and she tried to commit suicide 3 times as a child. She's and she runs an organization that helps kids who are being bullied. So I can't stand it. It's really sad.
Me either.
Heart goes out to the family, and God help them. They're sad. All right, fellas, come on, take us to the next one. Oof.
Moving, moving, moving. We keep it moving.
This was some foolishness here. Some food.
No.
A lifetime of pain. Florida woman who suffocated boyfriend inside a suitcase to teach him a lesson. Really? The Florida woman accused of zipping her boyfriend in the suitcase and leaving him there to suffocate and die will spend life in prison for his murder. Good. Sarah Boone, finally, because this was a while ago, was found guilty of second-degree murder in the death of 42-year-old George Torres Jr. Authorities found Torres dead in a suitcase at a home in Winter Park, Florida on February 24, 2020. Boone told detectives that she and Torres were drinking wine while playing hide and seek. Child, please.
What?
Drinking wine while playing hide and seek, and decided it would be funny to zip Torres, who was 5'2", in a suitcase. The 47-year-old said she went to bed after closing the suitcase, but left enough space for Torres to stick a couple of his fingers out, believing he could get out on his own. When she woke up the next morning, she found his body inside the suitcase and called 911. She told law enforcement that she never meant to leave him there. However, investigators later discovered videos on Boone's phone that show Torres pleading for Boone to release him from the suitcase, while a voice presumed to be Boone's taunted him and accused him of cheating. Sarah, I can't effing breathe, Torres said. He was heard saying this on the phone. Yeah, that's what you would do when you choke me. Boone responded on the video. Sarah, Torres said. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe. That's on you, she responded. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me, she later added. It took more than 4 years for Boone's murder trial to begin, partly because she kept changing attorneys. She represented herself for a brief period of time during her 7-week-long trial before landing on the 9th attorney, James Owens, to argue her defense. Boone delivered nearly 5 hours of testimony during the trial, claiming that Torres was responsible for heinous acts of physical and sexual abuse. She told the jury she kicked, punched, spit, and stabbed and choked her during their relationship, and that she suffered battered spouse syndrome, West reported. She told the court that she feared Torres would kill her if she released him from the suitcase. I wanted him to try to understand how it felt, so maybe he could progress and be a better person, Boone said when the prosecutor asked her why she didn't unzip the suitcase. So she was found guilty on Friday, October 25th, and was given life. Finally, she gets her due diligence for locking this man up in the suitcase. He was probably too drunk to get out, dummy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
It make no. And okay, if he got his finger, did you hear him unzip the suitcase? So obviously he couldn't.
I just don't get some people, and it's like, I feel for her. I feel for her because she's an idiot, and she. But I feel for his family who have to live without him because of something so stupid. Talking they playing hide and seek, but you clearly left him there on purpose and then went to sleep. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, she don't know how to play the game hide and seek because he didn't get. She knew exactly where he was hidden at. So she didn't know how to play the game.
And then she didn't know how to count. 1, 2, 3.
As if he gonna get out. He tell her I can't get out the suitcase.
And he's telling her I can't get out.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you cheat on me. That's how I feel when you cheat on me. Well, that's on you. Like, child, well, now it's on you, boo. Now it's showing up on you. And that's what you get right there for locking this man up in a suitcase. And so you get the one. Glad you got yours.
Family.
Huh?
What a horrific way to die, man.
It is horrible. I feel for his family.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Wouldn't know what to do. All right, fellas, come on, take us to our Black History moment.
Moving, moving, moving. We keep it moving.
All righty. She is known as the founder of the reparation movement. We need her now, don't we, Nita?
We do.
Oddly, more affectionately known as Queen Mother Moore. accomplished a lot in her 98 years. She was a civil rights leader, a key player in campaigns for reparation for slavery, and a fierce advocate for Pan-Africanism, which I don't know what that. I was like, oh man, a new word. I'm sure everybody else knows but me anyway. The effort to build solidarity between is African people. Wait a minute, that don't make sense. The effort to build solidarity between its African people around the world. Okay, Moore dedicated her life to improving the lives of Africans and African Americans, and spent decades fighting for Black empowerment. She said, "I'm not a part-time struggler," she once said. "I'm in the movement for the liberation of African people full-time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day for life." Okay, Ms. Moore. Moore witnessed tragedy and racism at a young age. Born in Louisiana on July 27, 1898, she was orphaned by the fourth grade after both her parents died, forcing her to drop out of school and to become a hairdresser. Among her first roles as a civil rights activist was volunteering as a nurse in Alabama, where she helped to get support for Black soldiers shunned, oh my God, by Red Cross during World War I. Wow. A speech by a Black nationalist leader, Marcus Garvey, at a 1920 event in New Orleans sparked her interest in Black power. I want to do my Black power. Garvey was the founder of Harlem-based University Negro Improvement Association, and Moore became an active member. She once described a scene where police tried to stop Garvey from speaking in New Orleans, prompting his supporters to wave guns in the air and chant, "Speak, Garvey, speak." She said, "I had 2 guns, one in my bosom and one in my pocket." But
she better have a gun in her bosom.
Okay. So there were people who were fighting. She said, according to an article by Keisha Blaines, a professor of African Studies and History at Brown University, everybody knew they had to come armed. Wow, we wanted freedom. And oh man, okay, this is why we need to know our history. In 1957, she presented a petition to the United Nations seeking land for Black Americans and billions of dollars in reparation. She later launched a reparation committee for descendants of slaves and spent decades lobbying for the cause. Ever since 1950, I've been on a trail fighting for reparations, she once said. They owe us more than they could ever pay. They stole our language. They stole us from our mothers and fathers and took our names from us. They worked us for free of charge, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, under the lash of centuries. In 1962, she met with President John F. Kennedy to discuss economic reparations. Ron Daniels, the convener of the National African American Reparation Commission, described Moore as one of his mentors. Queen Mother Moore was amazing, relentless guiding spirit of modern cross-generation reparation movement. Daniels told CNN, long before the majority of African Americans embraced the idea of reparation, I believe just as possible that it was possible. Queen Mother Moore was the master teacher, defining and educating Black people about the nature and necessity of reparation to repair the damage to our people done by the Holocaust of enslavement and its legacy. And that's her story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need my money.
She was out there working before it became a big deal. She was working. Like she said, they stole out, they just stole from us our name,
our identity. I mean, people were ripped away from their families. Can you imagine that? It's like just imagining that alone is devastating enough. People were ripped from their families. Like imagine being torn from your family and you never see them again, and you have to just start a life in another place where you don't speak the language, you have no idea of how the culture is or anything. You just completely have a whole new way of life, and that's just life from that point. And that's what happened to our ancestors. So so that listen, we completely applaud her legacy and the things and we need that movement right now.
We sure do.
Wow. Awesome sauce. Well, we do have a spotlight discussion topic that we want to finalize our conversation with. And what's going to be in the spotlight tonight? And Ned, do you know what's in the spotlight or who's in the spotlight? You know, because we always have this going on. I know y'all want to know. We're coming up right now.
All right, movers, it's time now for In the Spotlight. Who is in the spotlight tonight?
Y'all should have seen that Ned getting her groove on backstage. She was like,
I was David, okay?
all right, we're going to finalize with our spotlight conversation. Our spotlight discussion topic tonight is the storm will pass. Now, one of the most profound things I've heard Bishop Victor T. Curry say, and I've repeated this so often here, and even when I preach, it has been one of the statements that has stuck with me over time. And he would say, no one is immune to storms. Everybody's going to have storms. You're either in one now, or you're on your way into one, or you're just coming out of one. Either way, you're going to have them. It's how you weather them. And, there are many different types. So we're going to kind of dig into this conversation tonight, because even when you are experiencing difficult or challenging times in life, storms will eventually end and better days will come. And we don't see it at that time, and that when we're in it, it is the truth. And one of the biggest reasons for us feeling so tossed by the storms is because of uncertainty.
Yeah.
You notice that? It's like we don't know what's going to happen. Why? Because storms are unpredictable.
Yeah.
Unpredictable. Now, I want to put a pin in this right now, because I think on a prayer call a few years ago, Annette, I shared something with you and a couple of the other people. As a matter of fact, we were praying about the movement. We had been online on a conference call praying for a whole year before we ever started the movement. We prayed about it, and we prayed about it and prayed about it, and before we launched. And what we talked about, what I shared was, I had gone through something that had devastated me so bad because the storm was so unpredictable. We live in Florida, and in Florida we have hurricanes. Well, hurricanes, when we have a hurricane warning, we have warning for like a week. The hurricane is out on the horizon. We be watching the tracker, and we say, oh, it's in the cone, and we see all the little lines as to where the storm could go, where it might go. They have a pretty much idea of the vicinity, and sometimes they're right on point, and sometimes it's just slightly off. But for the most part, if you're in the cone, you know to prepare, because it could be you. And sometimes it's saying it's definitely you, but it goes a little to the left or a little to the right. But at least you are prepared, because you know that you were in that path of the storm. But a tornado is different, because you don't know. A tornado just forms and destroys and catches you so off guard that you don't have time sometimes to run for shelter. Have you been, and I know, and it's a rhetorical question for everyone. Have you been through storms described like that? The ones that you see coming and the ones that you don't.
Yeah. So like you say with tornadoes, they hit and then they dissipate. Mm-hmm. They come and they wreak havoc and they move on.
Mm-hmm.
But at least with a hurricane, you will get a warning. You still don't know, when it will hit, but you get a warning. Mm-hmm. So those tornadoes are vicious. And I've seen them, you can see them twirling. So that's life. Like, it's unpredictable. We don't know. Life is that way. And it could, you can go to bed tonight and get a phone call and wake up tomorrow and your whole world shattered. And, that's how the tornadoes, we, of course, like Anita said, we live in Florida, so we've experienced this. It's natural.
We have to go and get our little water and all the stuff. Yeah. You get your hurricane supplies. You make sure you have, batteries and your flashlights. You make sure you have a little water and some some little canned goods and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, even with all of that, you can have all of the stuff that you need. You don't know how strong it's going to be. You don't know how long it's going to last. You don't know what's going to be attached to. Oh God, that's another one in there. Well, I just got chills when I thought about when I just said that. You don't know what's attached to the storm, because sometimes a storm can, a hurricane can come, and it has tornadoes in it.
Yeah.
And it causes a level of devastation that you can't even deem possible. That's what happened with her years and years and years ago, like in 1992, I think it was, or 93, went back in that year when Hurricane Andrew literally leveled.
Oh yeah.
It came in from an area that was unexpected. Plus, it was supposed to be like a Category 1, but it came with a lot of tornadoes, and the houses were not prepared. Those houses were not built properly with the right code for withstanding hurricanes, and they were leveled for miles and miles and miles. That devastation was felt. It's still felt to this day. Homestead never really recovered from that. And sometimes in our lives, we'll have a storm that's coming, and there's a whole lot of other stuff that's attached to it. And here's the case. Even with the hurricane, you've been warned that it's coming. And sometimes in life, you'll see, something is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know how the old people used to say, I can smell the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can smell the rain, but you have, like Grace said, that you have attached to the storm cyclones and tornadoes. There are things that are attached to the storm, and that's what happens in life. It may come as one thing, but it's a whole lot of other stuff attached to it. But even in that case, you are able to weather what is thrown at you. See, unlike the storm in the natural disaster, we have no idea who is going to hit or what is going to devastate. We don't know. Today a building might fall, and in another storm a building might not fall. I've been in several hurricanes. But the thing about the storms of life, even though there are things that are attached to the storms of life in that, even though it's coming from a direction that you can't even understand or comprehend, you are built for it.
You're built, yeah.
You're going to weather it. Because why? Because God's word is true. And he says he will put no more on his children than they can bear.
Mm-hmm.
And that is truth. That's Bible.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And even with the storm, you see the aftermath of the storm when we had Ian.
Mm-hmm.
But with time, all the debris is gone. It's almost like it never happened. I got videos of, the water up to my knees in my house. And it's like, okay, but God, for stuff that you lost, God will give it back. And sometimes he would give you more than you had. Because I was going to remodel my house one day.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the storm, I end up getting it remodeled.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes even in storms, there's still a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a blessing. And nobody want to go through the storms, but there's a blessing in storms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there is a blessing in storms.
Mm-hmm.
Is a blessing in storms, and one of the things that I it really, really kind of touches me about this though, Annette, is that, like you said, that you wanted to remodel your home. And sometimes, God will come in and there will be storms that have come to our life. But what he'll do is he'll allow us to get rid of the things that we don't need. Yeah. The storm is going to blow things all over the place. Blow things all over the place. And we're devastated by it. But when the dust settles, then what's meant to be and what's not. And perhaps, like you said, that, you wanted to remodel the house. Perhaps God wants to remodel your life. He wants to make some things new. He wants to take some things out. He wants to remove some stuff. And sometimes it's us. We don't want to get rid of some of the stuff that God is trying to get us to lay aside. He's trying to get you to lay aside some things and move past some stuff. But no, I don't want to let it go. I want to let him go. He loved me. We gonna build a life together. Even if God said no, you're still trying to do something when God said no, and that's the reality of it. And I've been there on many occasions where I'm determined to do things my way and not God's way. Not, I mean, and I, I've seen it, and the things storms reposition you. You better say that a storm will show enough relocate. Listen, Chim, a storm will show enough relocate you. You better say that grace, union.
Oh my God.
That storm will relocate you and put you in. Like there was a little girl, there was a tornado years ago. You might remember this, and it was in Central Florida. And as a matter of fact, you and I were in a car with some friends of ours, and we had just turned the corner where the tornado touched down. It touched down literally about 10 minutes after we turned that corner. And we were laughing so hard because we never come that way. And we were like, how we got all the way out here? And we turned, it was on the corner of Bevel and Williamson. And we turned right there, and y'all were taking me home. And we were like giggling as to how we ended up all the way over there on that side when I was supposed to be off of Ridgewood going to my house where I was living. And we just laughed. And I went home and turned on the news. They said, oh, it's a tornado. The tornado touched down right there on that corner, went across the street, and the ministry I was working for, out of all of the buildings, it was a strip mall, it landed on top of that one building and chewed it up and spit it out.
Yeah.
And the tornado also, the same series of tornadoes picked up a little girl and took her way out in the woods somewhere. And they found her like a day later walking around. And they said, well, how did you get out here? She said, the tornado brought me out here. And it just totally repositioned her. And unfortunately, sadly, it killed her parents and, her family, but she was able to, like she lived. I mean, I think the same year a tornado picked the lady up in her bed, and she woke up and her bed is in the air. And that is, those things happen. God will not take us to it if we can't go through it. You better preach, right?
Yeah.
Yes. We have our plan, but God's plan is always. Listen here, Francesca done popped up here in here preaching. You better preach. And then I bet Francesca to put that sewing machine down. I know she probably put that needle down and went to do her one of them. But you better say that. That is so true. We have a plan, but God's plan is different and way better. And it's going to take us through some things and take us to some places that we won't even imagine. But guess what? The thing about it is, even though we have to go according to what God has planned for us, because he's planned it, he's designed us to weather what we're going through.
Yeah.
Because another thing that storms do, now storms will create chaos in your life. It will cause things to be in disarray, but they will also teach us resilience.
Yeah.
We become more resilient and we become stronger after we have gone through a few things. Because there are some things that I've gone through in my past, Annette, that I know should have taken me out. And I think I have cried on your carpet more than I've cried on anybody's carpet in the world. And you can't drag a tear out of me now for some of the foolishness, the same type of foolishness that I went through back then. Child, please. Because you know why? In the words of Mary, I cried my last tear yesterday. I don't cry over that foolishness anymore. So you can't get me on the same thing, devil. Try and come on with something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It fortifies you.
Mm-hmm. It will definitely make you resilient. The other another thing too is that it cleanses. The storm will come and cleanse, it'll cleanse away some of the residue and some of the stuff that you've been holding on to. Because a lot of times we think we're delivered from something, but we are holding on to such a stench of residue because we're refusing to let it go. I get so annoyed sometimes when like sometimes I hear people talk about, some things that they've gone through and they say they've been delivered, but they can't stop talking about it. I'm not talking about months, and there's some things that are devastating your life and every now and then you need to revisit. But I'm talking about every time you see them, they're talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And you go through the same conversation and it's like 20 or 30 minutes of the same conversation. And it's like, oh my God. And that happened, and there was a friend of mine. And she was teasing her significant other about that very thing because she was watching the movie First Sunday. And when Tracy Morgan would say, when I was a little boy, I couldn't get food out the church because I was scared to be baptized because I couldn't swim. And Ice Cube said, how many times you gonna tell that story? He said, 1,000,000 more.
You know I ain't seen it, but
I know you haven't. And that's for the people out there who actually watched the whole movie. But see, Annette does not watch the whole movie.
usually I don't.
Annette, the only movie Annette's watched the whole movie is The Mummy. Annette will not watch the whole movie. She may have watched
Silver Bullet.
Oh, let's see, movies that I don't even know nothing about. And the funny thing is, she may have watched a movie here or there every now and then, but Annette will not watch a whole movie. And that'll be somewhere, you'll put your cup down if you drink one sip out of it, and Annette's gonna pick that cup up and wash it. And that's the problem. It's like she's sitting there trying to figure out washing dishes or doing something else, and it's like, Annette, would you sit down? Everybody's watching a movie. And that can't stand it. She got to be wiping something down. And they say
it be taking too long to get to the point.
You smelling bleach and everything else. And you're like, wait, I thought we were having a conversation. I thought we were watching a movie. And Annette does not watch movies. So that was for everybody else who actually watch a movie here and there and actually watch it to the end. And that might be able to tell you, oh, I think I saw a little piece of that. She might see a piece. But you know what? You ain't by yourself. My sister Carrie the same way. Carrie and you have the same spirit. It gets down to the last 15 minutes of a movie. We'll be watching a movie together. Carrie's on her cell phone playing the game. And she gets out to the last 15 minutes. She decided to go wash the dishes. All you hear is pling, ling, ling, plong, ling, ling, pling, ling. And my sister comes to me like, what in the world? Why is Carrie in there washing dishes? And when you get to that part of the movie, you be leaning in. So that's Annette, y'all. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to get y'all
to get better though.
Laugh on, because it's the truth about that one right there. But yeah, so but we wanted to just really encourage y'all tonight, because the wonderful thing as we are closing this conversation, the wonderful thing about storms is, even though they're uncertain, they're unpredictable, they can create chaos, they can reposition us, as we heard Grace King Completion say. They also cleanse, they teach us resilience, but guess what? They are temporary. And they end. They are not forever. The storm is not going to be there forever. So even when you find yourself in it, guess what? It is going to end. The storm is not, it's not going to rain forever. You're not going to have the wind and the tornadoes forever. The storm will end. And when it does, guess what? You'll be left standing, because God is not going to put more on you than you can bear.
Right. And that's so true.
And that,
true.
And I just want to say to you all that no matter what you're going through right now, and I know that we're at the end of the year, and there's a lot of things that's going on. Not taking too long to get to the point. There's a lot of things that are going on in life right now, in society, in our country, in our world, in our churches, in people's lives. I see stuff all the time, and we're exposed to so much because of social media. We see it. We see people's lives unfolding right in front of our faces. But there's so much going on. But even in the midst of what you're experiencing and seeing, the storm will pass. And if you would say that to yourself, if you found yourself in the midst of a storm, trust me, it will pass. And when it passes, guess what? The sun will shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she took the word out of my mouth, and I was just about to say, and there will be a rainbow, a covenant in the clouds, because God promised us. He made us a promise. And when I see those rainbows, I'm always reminded of the covenant that we read about in the book of Genesis. Go ahead, Annette. I cut you off. I think.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, and learn how to protect your peace, even when you're going through your storm. Because, I had a young lady, we differ in a political arena. So she felt like it was necessary to send me information about how wonderful the one I would not name is. And I finally had it. I said, listen, don't do that. Don't send me, because I'm over that. Okay, the person was late. Let's move on. So I gotta protect my peace, because I was thinking, like, if who the president is all I had to worry about, I could just be tiptoeing through the tulips. My life is way bigger and than that. Of course, we want a certain person to win, but okay, move on. Move on.
Mhm.
So it's temporary. Whatever you're going through, I'm going through my own situation, but I know eventually God's going to get me all the way through it. And things that I would cry about, I don't cry now. You know, I have my moments, but I used to couldn't even talk without crying. So that's why I know the storm will pass, y'all. You know, it will pass. It may be hovering over you a little bit, but it's going to pass. Yeah. So.
Yes. And we will, yes, Connie, we will survive even this. So
yes.
I hope that encourages somebody. So we've come to the end of our discussion, y'all. We thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, you could have gone anywhere else with your time, but you chose to come by here and have an incredible conversation with your favorite co-host, myself, and Annette L. Anderson. But before we leave, we want to ask that you do a few things for us. Again, yes, Bella, move on. The storm will pass. We want to do a few things for us. Please, that video that you're watching is either on Facebook or YouTube. So please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Also, please sow a seed, good seed into good soil with Movement Worldwide by Cash App, $Movement Worldwide, by Zelle, info@movementworldwide.org. Make sure you say .org and not .com. info@movementworldwide.org. And if you can't find these, you can always find them on our website. You can also become a patron. That's a monthly covenant partnership with us by going to our website, movementworldwide.org, clicking that red button and signing up to become a patron. $12 a month, 40 cents a day, $2.80 a week. That's all it is. One drink for one meal per week. So please, ma'am, please, sir, sow a seed. And also everywhere you see that globe above in its head, that is our acronym movement. That is our logo. Follow us. And then email us your thoughts, views, comments, prayer reports, prayer requests, and topic ideas to info@movementworldwide.org. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much, Grace, for the beautiful conversation and information. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And yes, the storm is passing over. So without further ado, I want to just share a few things that we have going on. We are slowly easing back into our groove. Next week, as a matter of fact, we will have a guest. We are having guests on more often, and we have some great lineups for 2025. Next week, we have an incredible guest. I can't wait to release the information. I'm going to release the flyer a little earlier when we have guests, so we have time to like pull some people in the room, because we do want them to be able to share, and you all to be able to ask questions and all of those things. So please, ma'am, please, sir, on Tuesday nights, though, I want y'all to really tune in to the Andersons. Let me tell you, they be booed up, and excuse me, pardon me. And Annette L. and First Lady Annette L. Anderson, they be booed up, booed up with TNT with the Andersons. They join us live on Tuesday nights, and this is from her organization entitled SOAR. You can find everything about her organization at AnnetteLAnderson.com. Visit her website, but tune in on Tuesday night, y'all. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. for a very incredible, encouraging conversation from the Word. And you know, when Linda started whispering, God,
it's over
like that, and his face wrinkled up in the top, and he be whispering, his eyes be looking like this. Oh, he be deep right there.
It's over. I just sit there. I just sit because I know.
Let me tell you, and it's so encouraging. I tune in all the time. It's so pleasant to watch them work together in ministry. So tune in on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. live for TNT. That's Tuesday Night Talk, where we take flight and soar. That's speak, orate, articulate, and
all right, Nita's back.
Reverberate. Speak, orate, articulate, and reverberate. And then on Wednesdays, join us right back here. We're here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. live with our fourfold conversation. We have a lot. We actually did our format, and I'm loving our new format.
Me too.
We come to you with some incredible idioms and phrases, those topics, those things that just make you go, That's our transformational topic. And then we have that hard to have conversation, that one that kind of gets under your skin a little bit. You might not want to hear because it's true, but it's not. Is that me? She's talking about me? Yeah, she's stepping on your toes. That's the power tool. And then we have our good, bad, ugly from the news, keeping it light, but keeping it real with the tea time topics. And now our spotlight discussion topic, where we either discuss something that we keep in the spotlight for that week. And then sometimes we bring in some guests. So please join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. live right here on this platform. So we appreciate y'all so much. Annette, any thoughts, views, comments, your last words to the people?
Yeah. I just want to reiterate something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do everything, but you can do anything, one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So just know you can't do it all, but you can do something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to share. That was powerful.
Yes. All right, good people. So thank y'all again. And listen, we love y'all, but we gotta go.
Oh, yeah, we gotta go, y'all. Sorry.
So we'll give y'all some love right here. And we'll blow some kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And we'll see y'all the next time on one of our awesome platforms. Good night, everybody. Y'all have a good one.
Night.
When we eat well, we live well, and all will be well. Go to elbewell.com, join the journey, and take your life back. TNT, that's Tuesday Night Talk with the Andersons. Each and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. live on multiple platforms. For more information and other services, visit AnnetteLAnderson.com. If you don't have your copy yet, get yours today at Amazon.com. That's Living Life One Quote at a Time by Annette L. Anderson. Another milestone reached. Get your copy of The Wow Effect by Anita Faye Wilson, available on all platforms, or you can visit AnitaFayeWilson.com. And you can always catch us live on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Can We Talk? Join us with your Can We Talk coffee mug. Get yours today. They're $15 and that includes shipping. Sow good seed into good soil. You can sow a seed into Movement Worldwide via Cash App at $Movement Worldwide, Zelle at info@movementworldwide.org, or by becoming a patron. You can visit our website at movementworldwide.org, click the red button, go to patreon.com, and set up your account today. And remember to follow us on all platforms. Like, subscribe, click that notification button, and don't forget to share.